Welcome to the Mickey J Foundation series. In this series, we go through some of the common tools that I use. Those things that I go through really quickly, but this time a little bit more in depth. Today, we're going to go through Virustotal. Right, today we're going through Virustotal. You've seen me use this tool many a times pulling apart viruses to see what they do and what they are. Just go to www.virustotal.com, it will fill in the rest, the home-upload, and then from here you can upload your virus sample. Now you can go to the choose file down the bottom there and click that and then browse for the file on your hard disk, and then you can upload a zip file, or you can even export out of Outlook an MSG file, or the raw executable, or the docx, or PDF, or whatever it is you wish to scan. So using this choose file shoots off to your operating system to pick something up. If your virus is in a zip file, it will actually pull it out and it will actually scan it correctly. Now I don't actually do it that way. I've actually got a plugin to do it, but I'll show you that in a moment. You can also scan a URL from here. So if you've got a website you suspect is dodgy, you can actually put it in here. It'll look at Trend Micro's web reputation and a bunch of other ones as well. So you can find out if your website's got a payload on that's dangerous. I actually use a desktop app. So over here it's discontinued, but I use a desktop app so I can right click on any file in my folder system and upload to Virustotal, and it will bring me straight to the Virustotal website and it'll scan it for me and do everything it needs to do. But on top of these desktop apps, you can actually write your own apps. So click across on the API scripts, get yourself an API key, and you can actually customize and do your own thing. Back on Virustotal, I'm actually a subscriber, so I've actually logged in, as you can see, and I've actually gone to one of my previous uploads. So I've pulled up something I scanned in about 2015 just to see where it is today and if there's any extra detections. I can tell already it's not looking good. Got a community score of -10, and it looks like out of the 59 possible antivirus engines, 37 have declared this a virus. As I scroll down, there's a lot of them there. Interesting that WebRoot and F-Secure don't detect it as a virus, but anyway, majority of them do. So straight away I can say yes, this is a virus. I've got the SHA, I've got the file name, I've got the size, I've got all the details about this particular virus here at the very top. Helpful if it's got a different name on it. I can also tell it's a doc file, because obviously Virustotal have been kind enough to give me a little bit of an icon there, and I can see that there's 37 detections, so pretty sure it's a virus. So you know, I wouldn't go mucking around with this thing too much. If you have a look at it, most of these names you can actually cut them, paste them out into Google and see if you can find out more information on what people are saying about this virus. My only hesitation here is it looks like it's a Word 97 macro downloader, which is a very generic detection. So any information you find on this is going to be very generic. It's just going to say it's a Word macro and it downloads an executable. I would pick something a little bit more obscure. There is something here. There is a W97M downloader.705 from Dr. Web. A lot of these antivirus products I've never heard of before, but anyway. So you could potentially, if you find some of the more obscure detection names here, find a page on the web. Here's another one from Virobot, whoever that is, downloader.89600.d. So something like that, you might get a hit. Fortinet, you're more likely to get a hit, and that's a fairly unique name there. So that would be pretty good to Google and to see if we can find out what others are saying about what this virus actually does. Trend Micro detected as a downloader. I am surprised the super anti-spyware and malware bytes don't detect it. Not horribly unexpected, as Word macros generally are not a virus. They download a virus, they're just a downloader. WebRoot also says it's clean, but these things probably detect the actual executable and they probably declare it as dangerous. So there's probably no risk in this particular file, but just what it downloads. I still wouldn't go downloading it. This is a nasty thing. But looking back through that, we've got some tabs across the top here. So we're going to go through this information and teach you a bit about it. Let's go to details. Underneath there, you've got more ways of recognizing the file. You've got the MD5 hash. any various file names that may have come in under. Also, a bit about the document. It might tell you here whether it's a doc or a docx, whether it's a zip file format or raw doc. I'm going to see under the tags there it's obfuscated, so don't expect the code to be too easy to read, but it opens a file, it opens a doc file, macros, etc. When it was first seen, other file names it's had in the past, seems to target Australia there. Interesting. You can see all the OLE compounds it opens, so obviously if you want to know if it opens a file, or if it writes a file, or creates a file, or opens Excel, or triggers this or triggers that, all the OLE information is there, and you can actually then dig down into the macros and the VBA code, so you can see a bit more about what it does. So here's some code here. It doesn't do a heck of a lot. Looks like it's opening up a subroutine called District 56. Again, that could be part of the obfuscation, trying to make it hard to read. Going into the module, here we go. There's all the bits of statements and bits of code, and you can do this all the way through. You can open up each of the BAS modules. It's not going to give you the actual Word file, but it's going to give you the code that's trying to run. And this is actually quite easy to read, but it is obfuscated. It has been made hard to read, so that you can't tell exactly what it's doing straight away. I would expect a URL in there of some kind it's going to pull the Exif from, but anyway, I couldn't see it at a quick glance. From here, summary info, quite often from the code page and things like that, you can tell what country this may have come from. You might be lucky enough also to come across the author's name. There's also a whole heap of OLE streams here, and you can drill down to your heart's content, find out all sorts of bits of information about this particular file. I'm not going to scroll through them all today, but you can do that in your own time. Scrolling down, see what different macros it opens. You can expand this because there's more information that can be shown on the page. And then there's of course the Exif file metadata, so you can tell whether it really is a Word file or not. You can tell all kinds of information about it. You might even get the author's name. You can tell how long it took to write the particular document. I don't think 1 minute's correct, but anyway. But if you go through that, you might get a bit of a clue as to where the file came from and what it does. This episode brought to you by the Virus Doctor, so be sure to go and check it out at the Virus Doctor. The Virus Doctor, he's all about removing what I find. He removes all those little things that I pull apart. He shows you in 4 easy categories and some easy steps how to pull things apart, so go and check out the Virus Doctor. Without him, this episode wouldn't be possible. Going back to the top here, we've got relations, so we can tell this Word file where it is in relation to other things. So there is actually, in this case it was uploaded as a zip file. It pulled the file out, so it actually tells us that it came from a zip file. So there's not a lot going on there that it can tell me. Hasn't told me what the name of the executable is it downloaded. So in this case you can click on that and you can go across to the graph to show you more about that zip file. While it does that, I'm going to zip back here, and I'm going to go up and go across to behavior. Very important behavior. It tells you all of the different file system actions. Now don't forget, this has opened up Word, so there's going to be a bunch of things that open just because Word opened, but you might find a particular file or a particular registry key that's not part of the actual action of Word, and it might give you some clues as to what's happened or what resources it's using, what DLLs it's importing, what files are coming out. As you scroll through that, again, we're not here today to pull apart this particular virus, so I'm just scrolling past. You can see what files are written, what files are deleted. That's interesting. So there's a bunch of files it's actually created, and in the process it deletes them. Normal dot was expected, and there's a bunch of registry keys. Again, you're looking for a registry key that might mean this virus that it's downloaded will actually load when the next system starts up. So you're looking for things that stand out as being not supposed to be there. Then you've got products and services, so you can see, processes and services, what processes get started, what services get started or stopped, and then you can see all the mutexes as well, and all the modules opened and modules loaded. Way more information than you really need to know, but it's all there. Nothing's hidden, and just in case you get a clue as to what this virus does, it's all there for you to see. Going across to what I think is okay, I'm going across the graph to show you that zip file, but I don't think it's working for me today. bit of a glitch in the system. This is what you get for live recording. Now I've clicked on the advanced analysis because that's something that I've never actually clicked on before. This is something new, and from the look of it, it's just grouped together all the bits and pieces that are most important. So I can see it's downloaded something into the internet cache. I can see it's edited a cookie. I can see it's created a temp file. It's edited the normal .dot file. It's written a sample.doc to the root directory of C drive. I can see all the little bits and pieces it's doing, which is quite handy. Again, some of this is just because Word got opened. Here we go. We got a website, or at least an IP address, a website it's going to on port 80. So that's normally where they would go to download something. And we got all the registry keys. We're going to get edited and all the mutexes and things like that. So really, we're getting a lot of information for our money here. Well, being free, but we're getting a lot of information here. Stuff I didn't expect to see. This is actually quite a lot more detail than I've previously got from Virustotal. So this advanced feature looks to be a new feature. That's done a really good analysis on that. Alrighty, across to the next bit, which would be community. Now a little bit about community. That's where people like myself put notes up there. In this case, nobody has voted this is safe. Everybody's voted this is evil and bad. So you wouldn't want to go and open this file, would you? But here we go down the list. We've got different people who've commented on it, including myself. I've even told you what executable there it dropped and some information about it. If someone, like for instance this first one here, Payload Security, has done a hybrid analysis on it, they usually can dump the link in here, so you can go and see that over in hybrid analysis. And there's the IP address and the domain name from where the executable came from, which is incredibly handy. And also the threat score of 100 out of 100. Yep, it's a virus. So far I can tell you that a lot of the antivirus products say it's a virus. This says it is a virus, I say it's a virus, and someone else says it's a virus. So you wouldn't go clicking on it. I can see it down as an executable, I can see what website it comes from, I can see a heck of a lot of information just from this Virustotal application. Again, it's a -10, so 10 other people who've probably played with it and got infected have voted that it's evil and bad. From this page you can tell all the stuff you need to see. So really what I do when I come to this page is I do a quick detection. Yep, okay, is there more than one that detects it as a virus? Then probably just go with the fact it's a virus. Details, I just want to see what files it touches and what it does. Relations, if I'm lucky enough to catch what file it downloaded. Behavior, to see if it puts itself to automatically run it next time the machine boots. And community, to see the notes from other people and to see what they say is going on with it. It gives me enough detail to know whether or not this is at risk. And again, don't forget to Google some of these names. You will strike some viruses that have very unique names. You'll look them up and it might be semantic, it might be anybody really, and they've got a full technical rundown on what the virus does, and they pulled it apart and also told you how to remove it and told you whether it's malicious or not, or it's just annoying or not, or spyware or not. I am shocked again, WebRoot and Malwarebytes don't detect this, but they probably do detect the file that gets downloaded. They're probably not so interested in downloaders. Downloaders are pretty boring. They just do a job of downloading an exe file, but that might be why it's not detecting, I don't know. So look, the Virustotal product, as you can see, it's quite safe. I would upload anything I suspect is a virus as a .vir, rename the executable, or in a zip file. As you can see down the bottom here, you can join the community, you can vote and comment, you've got all kinds of tools you can download. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do from this one page, which obviously dumps you straight into a wider source of information from others. Really from here, you need to go and play with it, but if you get an exe file, I would rename it to .vir. When it gets up into Virustotal, it uses the PE header to discover what it is. So it's going to ignore the vir, but just go to choose file, choose your file, upload it, and yeah, scan it, and away you go. And again, with the URL, you can pop that in there as well. I'm not sure about the search. That's a new one again. I'll have to play with that more, but I've never used it before. And yeah, once you get your hits, if you get 37 out of 59, it's pretty much a virus. Scroll through the details, look for anything that might pop out as to how it got on your system, look for any other files that may be related to it. You don't want any payloads being left behind when you clean up viruses. Look for the behavior, see if anything stands out, and look to the community. See if they've got any little nuggets of secrets for you, anything that might help you along. So that was a very quick rundown, longer than normal, but quick rundown on what Virustotal can do for you. I find this product is just amazing, and I can't do without it. It's always my first trigger point before I jump off onto hybrid analysis or Joe's Sandbox or something like that. It's a safe tool to use. If you've got an Outlook attachment, save out the file as an MSG file, load that up, you can pull it apart. If you've got an Exif file, rename it .vir, upload it, let it pull it apart. If you've got a Word file, just remember to upload it, don't double click it. I know some people do double click. And if you're really worried about it, well then don't scan it, don't touch it, just delete it and move on. But for those of us that want to be a bit more about it, Virustotal, laid bare for you. I hope you enjoyed this, and hope you enjoy this series, my new series on the tools that I use, my foundation series. Have a great day.